it was a big week. This is us came back. I know we do the Lovecraft shit, but our show review really kind of started with This Is Us. The people got to watch me grow into a super fan before their eyes because Elle was already on it and put me
The
on, and
important man. That was a important moment for this pod.
it's a big moment for the pod. Big moment for the show too. Um, how did you guys feel? Could you feel a shift in the writing room with the first episode?
Sort of, sort
Yeah.
of. I feel like it was a little bit more intentional this time around. Like
Mm,
I think a lot of topics. I feel like they were like running into topics, and it's a 2 hour it's a 2 hour show.
premiere. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but like
she's
they were ramping it up quickly. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't much that was settling in. But I do like the direction that they're taking. I am interested in seeing this exploration of Randall's entire family because I feel like
yeah.
they're this show eventually, as it should, would have to start leaning on that family because there's so much dynamic in it.
Randall and Beth, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about within that family. So that's something.
So, so help me with that, G. And Lex, maybe you too. I don't know if you did you watch it? Did you watch the premiere?
No,
This Is Us.
no, I haven't
Okay.
watched it yet. But you guys can spoil it because everybody else has for me so far.
Eh, L, maybe you can help me with whether this is a good thing or not. There were moments of the exploration of Randall's family, his mom in particular, where I couldn't tell if it was what is it a genuine step forward for the creative of the show, or was it a pandering step based on like, all right, we're in this moment in our time in our country. If we're not leaning into Black stories, what are we doing for real? So while I'm grateful for it, I'm hoping, and at this up until this point they've been very delicate and very thorough with their writing anyway, so I have no reason to suspect they wouldn't be going forth. Um,
Mhm.
I am worried though that in order to tell that story, they'll cut corner. They the potential to cut corners. Excuse me, the potential to cut corners and to get real lazy in terms of how detailed they've been up until this point. It's just inevitable, and I'm hella excited about the exploration of like of his mom. Like that shit could get real crazy if that's that. But how it I feel like they're gonna walk that fine line of it being crazy and having the potential to get real kind of like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Are you just banking on how great the show is up until this point? Am I just overthinking it?
No, I think they're approaching enough seasons now where it's up to the cast to now take over. You know, like
Mm, I
they
like
write the
that. I like
script, they
that.
write the script and all, but I think the script was written a certain way for it to be pandering. And then you saw the characters take over, like you saw the actors take over within their little nuances that they have that carried through a lot of the I guess the you say the washed down version of what they were trying to get across. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
they did have to cover a period of time.
yeah.
So given like how long it's been gone, they did have to cover everything that just happened over the summer, and they
Did
did it,
they?
huh?
Did they?
They didn't, but I think this type of
Okay,
show, that's what they tend to do. You know what I mean?
got
Like
you.
I think they tend to try to keep it as current as possible what's going on. And in doing so, they were overdoing it with the protest and you know how we feel about it. But within doing that, they were able to stumble across a really good topic. We talked about it too when it comes to therapy, and
You've been, bruh, that's funny. As soon as that shit presented itself, I was like, damn. El said that was probably a year and a half ago. We had that conversation.
bro, like just thinking about like the idea of taking the first steps to go to therapy and then going as far away from what you actually need initially
Yeah.
because you don't give a fuck about it. But
Hmm.
without knowing that it's actually doing it's doing something inside of you that's that you don't understand is unraveling a shit ton of stuff that you've had to go through to this point
Yeah.
that has made you who you are. And then eventually getting to a point where you take it seriously and you see what you actually need from it. You know, not everybody has, you know, the support, which he had an amazing support system at the house, but not
Yeah.
everybody has the support to go through the you know, that whole process of stumbling into where you actually need to get your help from. And it was just cool to see him become something. You
Yeah.
know, he's finally starting to turn into something in it that is himself, and that's at 40. And that was something for myself. I was like, I didn't want to be 40 and stumbling into who I am. Like I had to do that shit earlier, because I could already see my vision of like everything being great and me doing all this stuff that, you know, is great to everybody else, and everybody else is receiving all this stuff from me and stuff like that. But am I slowly dying on the inside? You know what I mean? Like, and that's something that I tried to explore before, and that's why I connected with that show.
Yeah. No, that should hit hard. In terms of just the amount of work and accountability, and then the expectations of, you know, of fatherhood and life partnership. Man, that self work is ever important. Realizations of family dynamics is even more complicated. Um, it was I had my moments where I was like, I don't know, and then the writing was just so potent. It's like they won me over, and then 2 hours of content is just hard to do. So I'm here for it, and excited for the rest of the season. Honestly, um, especially coming off of Lovecraft, which was a completely different show. Um, I don't know, man. I'm here for it. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. I will say, I realized what a stan I was, and like how wrapped up into this shit that I am when Kevin appeared on the TV. So the Selling Sunset show that comes on Netflix. I hate that. Why am I saying this on this fucking show? Oh my gosh. Selling Sunset on fucking Netflix is like and ain't even a guilty pleasure. The show is fire. I don't care what nobody say. That show is amazing. But Kevin in
Stand
real
on that,
life, whatever
king. Stand on
whatever his
that, king.
I got to. I'm here now. I'm here. What's Kevin's real name in real life? Do we know? But whatever his real
He's forever Kevin to me. I saw him in a
yeah,
movie and I called him Kevin.
that's that nigga's mama named Kevin. I'm gonna call him Kevin.
Hey,
His
bro.
his wife in real life is a realtor on the show, G.
Mm-hmm.
And so first season is lit. It's in the second season. Her and this nigga get a divorce, but the way he do it is so cold. Or at least the way they make it seem on the show. Bruh, when I tell you I was glued to that shit, I was like, okay, I'm trash. I'm big trash. Like, it's my Selling Sunset, the hardest show right now, bro. Y'all talk about Lovecraft. This y'all can keep all that shit as long as I get new seasons of Selling Sunset. I promise you. Sign me up. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. All these other shows want to steal our Lovecraft podcast and all that shit. We started this shit, son. Do one about Selling Sunset. Watch what happened.
If you really try to get some respect out here,
I'm trying to get some respect out here somewhere.
try to put some respect on that day. You gotta do something.
It's just bait. It's just bait, baby. Let's see what we get.